I was thinking the other day about an idea that I had years ago, which led me to, in my retirement, to the final breakthrough I had at the piano, which was, as I sort of alluded to earlier, the perfect pressure, which a friend of mine has sort of adopted as her project, and she, has it online and whatnot. But we won't talk about that. What I want to talk about is the concept before the concept. So my idea was, and I'm sure others have thought of this, but it's really important, and that's why I'm bringing it up, and that is, if you do something great and it's a one-time deal, that's it, that's all it is. But if you can repeat it over and over and even improve it and polish it, that's everything. And the whole idea is, unless you can really analyze what you're doing, whether it's writing a book, a short story, a novel, playing the piano, throwing a knuckleball, throwing a pass into the end zone like a Hail Mary, unless you know exactly what you're doing at every given moment, you can never repeat it. You can't. It's a whimsical, it just happens, oh wow, I was really on last night. That really gets me. There's no on, there's no off. You either know what you're doing or you don't know what you're doing. And it's really, really important to have this concept lodged in the back of your mind, I would say, before you're about to do something. I mean, I believe in spontaneity, okay? Everybody knows that I do these video blogs off the top of my head. When I speak in public, when I give a master class, anything, even when I played in public, I don't prepare in a way. I really, really prepared as a pianist, of course, because then you can be more spontaneous than ever. If everything's worked out in the practice room the way it should be, remember Fleischer's statement, perfect practice makes perfect, then you can just really let it rip. And that's true of public speaking or motivational speaking or giving a sermon at church. I mean, this would apply to a priest or a rabbi or anybody who talks in public. Speaks in public. If you cannot locate that zone every minute of what you're doing, I hate to say it's pretty tough to repeat it consciously. You can repeat it, sure. It might be, the seventh, inning of the ninth inning of the seventh game of the World Series, and all of a sudden, you're the pitcher on the mound for whatever team, and all of a sudden the juices just flow. The ball, no one can hit your pitch. Same with the hitter. All of a sudden, you're hitting everything. That's not what I'm talking about. The most important thing in life that I've found is that it is what it is, and we've discussed this. So whatever that is, you've got to take it, and you've got to hone it, and you've got to study it, you've got to know it, and you've got to be able to repeat it. If you can't repeat it, you're really at the mercy of that very thing showing up again. So let's take an example. Joaquin Andujar, who is one of my favorite pitchers, he pitched for St. Louis, which has been my favorite team, through Dizzy Dean, Bob Gibson, all that whole, kind of school or lineage of pitching. Andujar was one of the most fantastic pitchers, I think, of all time. He had, I believe, a record of 20 game winning seasons 3 years in a row, 20, 21, 22, 3 years in a row. He's all but forgotten. He was an unbelievably good looking guy. I think he was Cuban or Guatemalan or something, or from the islands, and he had the most incredible body, the most incredible wind up. He just looked like $1 million. And after each pitch, when he got a strike, he'd go like this. And then he'd, blow his gun, the smoke away. He was like a real showman, but he really delivered the goods. Well, in interviews after games, people would ask him, well, Joaquin, how did you do that? He goes, oh, you never know. And both positive and negative. If he did well, he'd say, you never know. They'd say, wow, what a game, a no-hitter or whatever. He goes, you never know. That was his answer to everything. one time they were playing the Royals in the World Series and he really bombed, I think. I can't recall. And the announcer, asked him, what happened? He goes, you never know. Well, it turned out that he didn't speak English that well, and everything he answered with was always the phrase, you never know. But I learned something from that. You don't want to be in that position of you never know. You want to be able to say, I know I'm on top of this. So once again, the axiom here is do what you do, but know what you do. Make sure you know what you're doing physically and mentally and inspirationally at all times.